the rest of the day Wednesday.
Are you the K-9 officer? Yes. I saw you the other day.
Well, they're fixing to,
I saw the vehicle had K-9 on it.
I think they're fixing to retire him actually.
Okay, it is now 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, February 15th, 2018. I now call to order the Danbury City Council. Members present are Bill, Sue, George, and Hope, Mayor Richard, and Cynthia is the acting secretary. Okay, we all join me with the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Bill, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Father God, we thank you this day. We thank you for the opportunity to come together to take care of the business of the city of Danbury. We pray that we'll be fair and honest in all our dealings. We just ask you to be with us as we go through this meeting. Thank you for those who go out and protect our lives and our property, our first responders, our military, and law enforcement. Just give them a special blessing, keep them safe. Ask you again, be with us as we go through this meeting. Ask us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, public comment. Okay, first up, Teresa.
Okay, Mayor and Council. On Saturday, everybody knows it's huge rain Saturday morning, starting full daylight, and then I guess finally it rained about 10 o'clock. Avenue L went underwater, and it came up under my house again. So on Monday, I called Commissioner Kate's office because obviously there's something down that bayou. I don't know about anybody over there that got flooded or water back there. I have no clue. I live over there. And my drainage runs down the 8th Street drainage ditch, which is a district ditch, and the bayou. That bayou came out, that ditch was bank full, so there is something plugged up somewhere, or the flow is being inhibited, or something somewhere. You know, I mean, we get big rains, and we get days and days of rains, and it hadn't been, so something's going on. So I called Commissioner Kate's office at about 10 minutes after 8 on my way to work. And then I learned later that there was an impromptu meeting called on Monday with Commissioner Kate here in Danbury. And I didn't receive a call back from them. I talked to them on Tuesday because that upset me. And that really did upset me, you know. And here's my comment: we have a CTY system that we pay thousands of dollars every year for, an all-call system. And we get calls about it's time to register a kindergarten. I'm 57 years old. I don't have a kindergarten. You know, I get calls that trash is going to be picked up. And we get calls that the city website, we got a website now. And that the road's going to be blocked for the festival or around the park. Why don't we receive calls that we've got special meetings, that we've got council meetings coming up, that the time has been changed, you know, temporarily, or that there was going to be this meeting on Monday evening. You know, I thought the system was supposed to be used to notify the citizens of things. That's my comment on that. So, y'all just think about that. It upset me. But there is a drainage issue over here, a big one. I got pictures of the street and the ditch, the water under my house. I mean, I don't live on Avenue L, I live on Avenue K. So, but Rebecca's pasture was totally underwater. And it did not drain. Sunday night, there was still water in the pasture and up the ditches, and you know, it didn't drain.
Right. Yeah, I can answer a little bit of that. Met with Commissioner Katie Monday, you stated, And he stated that his district goes from this side of Flores Bayou on out, and District 5 Drainage District takes care of Flores Bayou up towards, what's that?
Iowa Colony.
Yeah, Iowa Colony, thank you. And they're working on it. That's all I can tell you at this time. We know we have a problem because we've never flooded like this before, but we are now. So I'm having meetings with him. I'm going to go to the Commissioner's Court and see if we can get some help, because there has been money offered to the county to help out residents that, you know, were flooding. And I'm going to see if I can't beg to get some of that money to us, because we don't have the money. This city doesn't have the money to go out and buy $200,000-$300,000 pieces of equipment to clear out these ditches. And the county has that equipment, but there's, like Mr. K said, they're stretched real thin since Harvey. And I understand he has a problem there too. It's not just our city that's flooded, and it's not just our city that's flooded now, because he had another meeting to go to after he left this one that we were at. And it's just a horrific problem that we have. And I think, and some of the people at the meeting think it's all coming from up north with all this building going on, and all that water has to go somewhere, and it travels south. Okay, it goes to the Gulf, and we just happen to be in line with all that water coming out of Houston going to the Gulf. You know, that doesn't help our problems. And you know, a lot of people have asked me about the ditches. Well, I agree, we need to get them cleaned out, but the problem being is, like I stated, it's all about equipment, time, and money. And Missouri County, Precinct 2 is a pretty big area for Commissioner K to take care of. And I believe he's doing the best he can with what he has. I know everybody wants their property cleaned up. My house, all my ditches flooded too. My driveway was underwater this last time. And it's never done that, but it did this last time.
And respectfully, Mayor, I spoke with Commissioner Kate's office on Tuesday because I was upset that they didn't even bother to give me a phone call that he was going to be out here, and I had called, like I said, right after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And what I was told was that, you know, and I know that, I just know this because I know it. Under our interlocal, you know, we're only allotted so much work to
2
be
miles.
done.
2 miles, and that's another thing I need to bring up since you brought that up. This 2 miles of this ditch cleaning that we're about to do that I sent in, they're only going to do 2 miles a year for us. So if it's ditch cleaning, that's what they're going to do. If it's roads being put in, that's what they're going to do. And you know, Teresa, that's how they do it.
Well, and a lot of people do not know that. We're only allotted so many thousands of, okay, and I didn't know that it was a 2 mile limit.
It's 2 mile limit.
But they told me on Tuesday that the last couple of years, that instead of doing ditches and doing this or doing that, they pay for 2 miles of road out here.
Right.
So, and we're only allotted so much a year.
Right.
And I did not realize that it was 2 miles now, so thank you for clarifying that. But,
Yeah, I've been going, like I said, I've been going through a lot of meetings because of the water. I'm well aware that we are having a big problem with the water. And I wished I was a magician. I could just say go away, but I can't.
well, I think when it says it's gonna rain, I'm just gonna start parking my truck in the road.
Yeah. Park it up high.
It's not safe to park in my driveway if it's gonna come under my house.
And it's just,
around.
to me, it's just going to get worse because I see on the news where Houston got X billion dollars to widen their bayous. So guess what?
Well, then we need
That's coming.
well, I don't know if I can get off work, but,
Okay.
I've got a connection to the Commissioner's Court.
Okay.
Last name's Linder.
Uh-huh. Relative, isn't he? Okay.
He's my nephew.
I know.
Oh.
Okay, next up. I'm sorry, you through?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Yes. Susan Picard.
Mayor Stone
Yes.
and City Council, I would like to know, what is y'all's plan for the drainage in this town.
That's-
I have lived here over 32 years, and we used to rain every afternoon and never flooded.
Mhm.
And I got water in my house 13.5 inches, and we had to cut the sheetrock up 4 feet and pull out the insulation and pull out carpeting, and I lost $20,000 plus of individual my contents. And I want to know what the city's gonna do.
Well, like I said, we're working hard with
Yeah,
what
y'all
we have.
not working. That's part of the problem.
Okay. Well, that's all I can tell you. I'm trying. Okay? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Melissa, I don't want to tear up your last
That's
name.
okay, I'm on it, I didn't see, didn't think I was on the agenda, but I am, and thank you. I'm
Oh,
later.
okay, you're late.
Thank you.
Okay. Emily Peltier.
Hello. My handout that I gave you guys before the meeting started is really about empowering the employees here at the city. The first thing I wanted to ask that you do is to send Cynthia and Brittany, the new deputy secretaries, to municipal clerk training. It's held in San Antonio, April 5th through 6th. It's going to be $260 per attendee plus travel allowances. I have a seminar schedule here. This is really fundamental if they're going to continue to act as city secretary. It covers public information, open meetings, parliamentary procedures, agendas, and minutes. And I really think that it is going to be great for them to attend and learn and just absorb all the information that this offers, and then possibly get certified to be a secretary.
Mhm.
In addition to that, I have a scholarship application for the 2019 seminars so that we could try to save some money for the city and still get training that is needed. I also have an example of agenda, minutes, and agenda packets. I know that you guys are doing the best that you can, but you're working under a magnifying glass right now. So it's going to be important to produce very detailed minutes of these meetings. So I wanted to produce an example for Cynthia and Brittany as they continue to do the minutes for Danbury. I just think that it's going to help with communication with the public, and that's really important right now. So I'll give that to you. The last thing I wanted to ask is for a procedural change to the culvert and the ditch cleaning forms. There was a lot of controversy about what forms made it and what forms didn't, and was it the city and was it the county and whose fault was it? And quite frankly, I looked at the commissioner court minutes, and Danbury seems to be the only entity still faxing those forms. So what I'm going to ask that you do instead is to email those forms to the county engineer like some of the other cities are doing, and blind copy the resident if they wish. That allows them to be in the loop of that you're doing your part. It protects their email address so it won't be seen on any kind of public information. And then there also needs to be a follow-up procedure. If your responsibility doesn't end when you send the form to the county, you're still responsible for maintaining the ditches in this town. So there really needs to be some sort of follow-up procedure. I produced a very simple spreadsheet that you can use to track this. So in my mind, if I'm a resident and I turn in my form, I would expect you to get it to the county, make sure it makes it on the commissioner's court, make sure, just call me if it's approved or not approved. Let me know what's going on. And if it doesn't make it, I expect you to follow up on that. I mean, this is very basic stuff here, and it's a procedural change that can go a long way with kind of CYA.
Okay. Some good ideas. Thank you. Okay. Next is Heather Martin.
Yeah, I just wanted to share something with y'all and ask a question. According to the local government code, section 22041, vacancy on governing body is created. It says if a member of a governing body is absent for 3 regular consecutive meetings, the member's office is considered vacant unless the member is sick or has first obtained a leave of absence at a regular meeting. Wesley Baldwin hasn't been in the last 3 regular meetings, and I have a copy of the last 2 years of minutes, and there's nothing in them anywhere about him obtaining a leave of absence at a regular meeting. So I was just wondering if you guys are going to uphold to the local government code.
Okay, thank you. Something to think about. All right.
Well, in all due respect, sir, it's not something to think about. It's the laws of the state for government.
Okay.
And it's, it's your choice to follow those governing body rules, but they aren't just suggestions, they're rules for governing body, and we're a Group A municipality, and so we're supposed to abide by those rules.
Thank you. Okay, next. Nobody next. Okay, we're gonna move on to council and staff, comments. Anybody have any comments?
I want to commend the chief, I don't know where he is, the chief and all those people that were involved with the daddy-daughter dance, father-daughter
There he
dance.
is, there's Chief.
I think that's a great thing for our community. My daughter's 31, I'll be bringing her next year. I saw pictures, I know a bunch of people that went, it looked like it was a great time for them, and they said, it's a good time for dads to bond with their daughters. And it also does a good cause.
Yeah, we raised about $1,900.
Very good.
For the Blue Sand program, which
Right.
exceeded last year with $1,000, so $900 more than we did last year.
Good deal.
Fantastic. Okay, anybody else have any comments? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I'll give you some time to look over the consent and agenda, and then I'll entertain a motion when y'all are ready.
I'll make a motion to approve the monthly consent agenda so we can talk about it.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by George. Any discussion?
Yeah, the animal report. I see like I said, one or two animal licenses. Are people not buying licenses for animals? Undoubtedly they're not.
You have to talk to Chief.
If we come across any stray dogs or loose dogs, and we require as they've been registered with the city, then they are required to do it. We give them, typically try to give them just a written warning with their promise to follow up with getting the dog registered. Most times they do. Last count, I think Teresa probably helped me out on it a little bit. We probably got like $600. Somewhere probably in that general. Well,
I don't know how many dogs, but the thing is truthfully, they never register the
yeah,
dogs.
we are working with the Lake Jackson SPCA to actually have them come out, do a weekend where they can get low-cost vaccinations and shipped. And at the same time, we'll go ahead and register their dogs because they have to have their rabies shots before we can register them with the city. So we're hoping having that sometime in midsummer, and so that might increase it to where we can have a lot more interactions with the residents, and we do tell them. And I think everyone knows they should be registering their dogs and cats, for that matter. In fact, that was the one you saw last month. We had a person register their cat.
What about chickens?
Nope. None of those for chickens.
Just let everybody know that my dog is registered.
Yes.
As is mine.
That's not following the law, I follow the law on that. I'm gonna bring it somewhere else. But it's not just for it's for the owner's protection. If the dog gets out, it's a way of identifying the dog so they can get it back to the rightful owner instead of the dog running around loose, causing problems.
I would agree
You get a
about
tag,
that.
you know who to contact.
I would agree. I think the most important matter would be that it is state law to have your pets vaccinated with rabies shots. And that's what's the important part because, I don't think we've had an issue here in the past that I'm aware of, but, so many contracts rabies is not pleasant.
Okay, any more discussion?
No more.
Okay. Okay, if there's not any more discussion, I'll take a vote. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda? 1, 2, 3, 4. Passes unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to general business agenda. Number 1, discuss and consideration of reopening City Hall to the public regular business hours on Friday. Heather, Martin, you're up.
between discussion with a lot of citizens in the town who would like to see the city hall open on Fridays, regular hours, 8 to 5, like it is the rest of the week, and then just common sense, you know, you guys are only open 8 to 5, and I realize that there's only so much you can do, but that's one less day a week that people can come in if they need help with their utility bill, if they want records, if they have questions, if they want to register their dog. We have a lot of people in the town that work shift work or work for the county and have a Friday off, and maybe that's the day that's the most convenient for them to come in. And so, I just think that having it open-ended for close to the public, I realize that, you know, it's not like everyone at the town hall has the day off, but just for accessibility and because I don't think I've come across a single person that I've talked to as a resident that says, you know, I think it's great that they're closed to the public on Friday. I think that that's what the citizens want, and I think that for convenience and accessibility, and it just makes sense to reopen. It used to be open, and I just don't see any reason that it shouldn't be. So I would ask that you vote to reopen City Hall to the public 8 to 5 on
What
Friday.
was the online poll results on that?
I don't have them.
Yeah, it was
It was good. Tremendous.
tremendous.
Mayor, do you mind?
You can address it.
I spoke with, after I talked to you about it, I spoke with several other people that are working here, and right now, I think if they can send them to, if we can find the funds to send them to the class, that'll help. Right now, they're having to do training, which is why we're temporarily closed from what I gathered. They're having to do training on Fridays, and they were having issues with training with people coming in, having to stop training. Then
So you're saying that
I try to come up with maybe the first and second or the first and third weekend or something like that, so we can help y'all and they can still get their
So
training.
you're saying that every city employee is in 8 hours of training every Friday?
Okay, hang on. All right, we need a motion, because this is starting to become a discussion. Do I have a motion? If I don't have a motion,
I'll make a motion that we can discuss it.
okay, I'll have a motion to discuss it, and seconded by Bill. Now it's open for discussion, go ahead.
My question is that,
Yes, ma'am, that's what I was.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm one of the ones
I've
that's
seen you
trying
in
to
there.
train. And it's when we're in a Monday through Thursday, and we're trying to train on everything that has to be learned, then people are constantly coming in, the phones are ringing. And it's wonderful, because that's the duty of City Hall, is to address the citizens' needs. But on the other side of the coin, we have to address the employees' needs.
Right.
And we don't want to be doing Saturday work and charging overtime.
right,
We don't want me sitting up here idle while they're handling everyone else's needs. And to do detailed work, you need the uninterrupted time so that you can focus. And you can sit there and you can learn how to do this and then do the next step. We use it for training right now, but I'm monopolizing their time on Fridays currently, which keeps them from being able to do their catch-up work from what hasn't been done. Now, when you think about banks, they have to reconcile. Well, the city has to reconcile, and that's one thing that we're really focused on, obviously. So banks close when Wells Fargo closes at 3 every day. So that's 5 times 2, or 5 times 2, that's 10 hours. So the city's taking 8 hours on Friday. And I understand the need for permits to be issued only on a Friday. If somebody knows they're gonna need that, could they send an email or call on Thursday? Employees are here. They can come to the back door and open it and handle something. It's just the constant interruptions all day long that provide the.
how long would you say that, how much more training? Another month's worth of training, another 2 months worth of training?
What
If
do
you
you-
had to estimate, I know you
If
can't.
I had to estimate, actually, the training I'm doing is at month end. So I can't do it every Friday. I'm addressing it at hopefully the first 2 Fridays of every month is when I am doing that. I can see it taking another 6 months of getting, there's a lot to be learned.
Okay, so 6 months, March, April, May, June, July, August. So could we vote to reopen on Friday starting in September? That gives them 6 months to finish training. Would you agree to that? If the purpose for being closed is training? Because I agree that there's training such as what Emily
And
suggested.
catch-up work.
There's several other reasons. I would have wanted, when things were running smoother, one of my objectives was to open on Friday. I think it was even discussed probably in council. But I don't think, we've also got records retention. We've got a lot of issues that without more people than we have the money to pay, I don't see it happening even in 6 months. I would like to see it happen eventually, but I don't think it's 6 months.
I just think, I mean, I work for Memorial Herman, I've done HR, I've been in payroll, I've worked for large corporations, I understand projects. I worked for a hospital system where when the government would come in every 2 years and it was a JACO year, you had to go through every file for 2,000 employees. I understand projects. I think having an open-ended, we are closed Fridays until we get things caught up is a bad idea. I think that we need to set a date and say we have 6 months, we have 8 months, and make this a solid thing. Otherwise, it just seems like we just want to be closed on Friday. There will always be a next project. There will always be a next training. City, it's a living, breathing organism. It's constantly changing. It's constantly, there are floods, there are financial crises, there are police department crises. You have to have a set goal, a black and white goal, a black and white project, a reason that you're closed. You can't just say, well, open-ended for training, open-ended to catch up. Because if you do that, you never reach the finish line. You have to have a finish line. You have to have a goal. We need to set a limit. So if we're saying it's for training, and if we can get done with training in 6 months, then 6 months from now is September. Let's vote to reopen in September and set a deadline. Let's come up with a reason that we are closed and a goal. Otherwise, it just seems like you guys don't want to be open on Fridays. And that's a huge perception issue. That's something that the residents, by far and large, are not okay with. So I would like to ask that in 6 months, starting in September, we reopen on Fridays. I'd like for y'all to vote to do that, please.
Can I ask, what was the main issue of them not being able to access?
Accessibility.
For what reason? Permits, water bill payments? I mean, did
Across
they
the
give a
board.
reason?
Everybody.
I got a
I mean, everybody
reason.
has to- Sir?
Mayor, I saw online where residents had to get a hold of you social media on a Friday to get their water meter turned on because nobody would answer the on-call phone posted on the door on a Friday. That's the kind of things where we would like to see them open on Friday. It's just, we need to cater to me, we need to cater to the citizens, and to me, open on Fridays helps them come in to take care of extra business. So I just think it should be open on Fridays too.
I mean, any facet of business that the city does is every day of the week, every day of the year.
6 years of record retention. Come on.
Thank you, Brenda.
I mean, and I don't know, is it possible to train one employee and have the other employee answer the phone at least, at a minimum, take a message?
I mean,
Individualized training is shown to be more effective anyway.
and that was my original question. You're telling me that every employee in City Hall needs 8 hours of training every Friday. We can't rotate that out where 2 of them are training this week and 2 are training the other
There's
week.
two.
Not but two.
There's only two.
But so you're saying that the entire, but the utility workers are in and out.
The utility workers are in and out, they don't handle money and they
So
don't.
if there's 2, they can't trade out Fridays, they can't say one of them's training in the morning and one's training in the afternoon, like,
Yes.
there's got to be a way to rotate that out.
Well, we
Just
have
like we do
been,
with life.
we have been elected to make the decision. I am sorry, but the decision, I think, is reasonable, and the best way to approach it is to have both of them training while we've got somebody here that's capable of training them. This, too, like you said, it's a lot better to have specific training to our programs for the 2 people that are going to do them than some generalized training for whatever. And while we have that opportunity, I think we need to take advantage of it.
and I think that training is important, and I totally agree to you, and in that case, I would circle back to the person that's doing the training, estimated 6 months, so I would ask you to vote to reopen in 6 months.
Okay. I have a
I'd like to change in 6 months.
I made a motion that we would discuss.
Right, I need another motion.
I'll make a motion that we reassess in September, which is 6 months, our needs to be open. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen between now and then. If the needs are not there, I don't have a problem with opening. But right now, we do have a need to be closed on Fridays. I move we readdress this in September.
We have a
The
motion
city
to
used to be
readdress
open
it
on
in
Fridays.
September.
The city used to be open on Fridays.
Well,
The city used to have 10 population of 10, but that was then. And let's have the question.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a motion to reassess this in 6 months by Bill. Do I have a second? Second by George. Any more discussion?
when City Hall was open years ago on Fridays, they didn't have near the reports and things we have to file now.
Obviously, they
And
didn't
we
get
had-
any training either.
Well, we have fairly new people, they have to be trained.
I would just,
I can't.
I would just.
Go ahead, Brenda. I can barely see you back there. Okay.
Mayor Stone, we started this record retention 6 years ago. You closed a half an hour.
I don't remember 6 years ago, but I do know that we have been doing it for a while.
I just, the question I have is, how much of all of this has been reconciled?
Probably not a whole lot. I've got most of this cleared
In
out
6
to
years.
us over here, and
I would say
but we've had a lot of things happen here too. So
Yeah, I understand that.
anyway,
And I'm
we're
not-
working through it,
I'm not
and we're
dogging
going to do the
anybody.
best job we can. Pardon me?
I said, I'm not singling out or dogging anybody, I just trying to figure out after 6 years, that attic ought to have been cleaned out.
Yeah, you're correct. Okay. Any more discussion?
I would just again urge you to set a specific goal with a specific deadline and not just say we're cleaning stuff out, we're training.
Well, we
You're
just got a
training.
motion to do that. You
Well,
just
for the
made-
training, no, you got a motion to revisit it in 6 months,
Right.
not to set specific goals. I
Right.
don't think that being closed on Fridays indefinitely for projects, because there will always be another training, there will always be another project, there will always be another crisis. You have to set a specific goal, and you have to follow up on where are we at, like she was talking about with the resident installation.
We
Where
have
are we
a
at?
motion on the floor.
Yeah, we do
to be
have a
voted
motion.
on.
But I just have one
Okay,
quick question.
go ahead, Brenda.
Do y'all think maybe possibly that y'all could go back to like it was, being open a half a day? I mean, half a day on Friday, let's try to meet in the
In
middle.
6 months, we'll look at it.
No, I'm not talking about 6 months, I'm talking about starting like in March.
We have a present motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor of revisiting in 6 months? 1, 2, 3. All those opposed? Okay, you absent? Okay. 1 absent. Okay, it passes. Okay, moving on to number 2. Discussion
You
and
cannot abstain
consideration
from a
of.
vote.
Oh, yeah.
Unless it's a
Number
conflict of
2,
interest.
Discussion and consideration of opening $100,000 line of credit with First State Bank, George.
Okay, we voted last time to pursue this. I believe you made a call at Wells Fargo and did not get reasonable terms. They weren't anywhere close to something we could with. Bill and I went to First State Bank of Louise, the Angleton branch. John's here tonight. And approached them on what the motion originally was, to open up a $100,000 line of credit. We approached them on doing that. They have approved a $100,000 line of credit with a 4.5% fixed rate I might ought to let John do this, but I guess I'm starting. No origination fees, only the documentation fees that have to be specialized to meet Danbury's particular city needs. And that we open a bank account there in order to, if we take draws on it, it would be drawn into that, deposited in that account. Did I leave out anything? Yeah, that's what the information we got. I move that we enter into the agreement to make that loan.
Okay, is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, second by Cody. Any discussion?
I just want to say that this is just in case we need it. There's no guarantee we'll even do it. You know, we did this a few years ago, as I recall, and Ike or Rita or one of those when we were going to be faced with a lot of cleanup, and we didn't know if we were going to have the money to pay. If you have to pay up front and FEMA reimburses you 6 or 7 years later, the way it seems to work out. And this is the same situation now. We may not need it. You know, we have money, we're paying our bills, but you never know. We've got 2 police cars will be coming in. We've got most of the money, and we'll probably go pay for all of it. But you know, if we need something else, we just want to have this option to use. In the past, when the cities bought vehicles, I know the Ford pickup the police used to have and pickup that Mike drives, they were financed when they were bought. We're trying to avoid that, but we're getting a good interest rate and good terms, and it's smart business not to spend all your money. You know, if you have to, you know, borrow some, borrow it. You know, we didn't go out like the previous council and burden the city with $2.3 million for water line repairs that we didn't get, but we're still paying for. You know, we're trying to be reasonable and responsible with our company.
Well, when I made my motion last time was, the time to try to borrow money is when you don't need it. We don't need to be down 2 weeks from, oops, look what happened, and we got to spend $100,000, and then's when we got to start trying to find credit. This is more of a safety net. That's a good word.
And I'm hoping we don't have to use it.
Yeah.
I don't think we will. I think we'll be fine, but you want to have that option.
I agree with
You want to speak?
Yes, just real quickly. I'd like for you guys to consider, when purchasing vehicles or big equipment like this, doing an internal lease program. It's what a lot of municipalities do, and what that entails is setting aside money each year towards the purchase of a new vehicle in the future. So if it's a police car, 5 years. If it's a utility vehicle, 10 years. But that kind of prepays for these big assets, and it kind of puts you in a better position. And if down the line something happens, you do have a little bit of a slush fund there.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any more discussion? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Passes unanimous. Okay. Moving on to number 3. Discussion consideration allowing the library to use the community center free of charge for a community event. George?
Well, as the liaison to the library, now we're going to hear from Ms. Millett.
Okay.
Melissa Fitzgerald, our librarian.
Okay, I'm Melissa Fitzgerald, I'm the branch librarian at the Danbury Library. And we have an opportunity to host a show from Orbit, the Astros mascot, to come to our town, and we would like to use the community center. Now, we have to pay the Astros a nominal fee, but we, like everybody else, we have a small fund from this, from the Friends of the Library and the county board, which is paying for the program. So we would like to add, Orbit needs, is gonna have music and lights, and we just can't do it outside. Especially if it can't, if it rains or anything. We had 575 children come to our programs, and we had 30 programs. So we get a little bit of crowds, but I think we're gonna get crowds from all over for Orbit. There are 3 other libraries that are having him, but I really want him to be in Danbury. So I really would like to ask for the community center.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Thank you.
So,
I have a motion.
Okay, I would make a motion that we allow the library to use the community center free of charge for the Astros event.
I have a motion and seconded by Cody. Any discussion?
When is the schedule?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Monday to June the 18th. It's at 10:30. The flyers will be out as soon as.
To me, that's what the community center's for.
Okay, any more discussion? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, passes unanimous. Okay, moving on to number 4, discussion consideration of allowing Danbury FFA to put a recognition sign at the park. George?
Well, I'm, again, Denver, the FFA is having a, is it heritage, is that what you're calling it?
It's a farmer tribute.
Yeah, there.
Okay, anyway, and they have generated within their own, shop, a sign, and they're wanting to put it in the library at this point.
In the library?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you for cleaning me up.
All right.
And this is Reese Ryan, the president of the
Let
Danbury FFA.
let her have the floor.
Yeah, your turn.
Have the floor, George.
So, again, I'm Reese Ryan, the Danbury FFA president, and I'm here to propose that we have the metal sign displayed at the Scribonic Park for the community to enjoy. The purpose of the sign is to be a memorial to the past farmers and ranchers in Danbury. Since they were vital to the growth and development of Danbury, this would be a nice way to honor them. We're hosting a farmer tribute this Saturday, and we'll be unveiling the sign there, so we're hoping to be able to tell the present farmers that it will be displayed at the park. The sign has been paid for by the Danbury FFA, and on the back of it is like where we were thinking about having it placed. It would be so like in the front gate, and then there's like the gazebo in the middle, and there's a tree to the right. We were going to have it placed right in front of that tree, just so when people walk in, it's right there and it doesn't take away from the playground and stuff.
On the side of the little, there's a bench there, right by the, there's
I
a
think-
bench there, kind of by the, along
Yes, sir. I
here.
think the bench is over there.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we, allow Denver FFA to, whatever you, display their sign in Scribonic Park.
Okay, I have a motion by Bill. Do I have a second? Second by Cody. Any more discussion?
My only discussion on it is that going to affect the Christmas in the park or anything like that? Is that something that it's not going to be in the way or anything like that?
It's gonna be pretty close to the tree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that big.
Right.
Okay,
Looks good, y'all did good.
all right.
Just have one thing to say, before we set the post, make sure Roger checks, because we don't know where
Yeah,
pipes around this town.
So we're buried under there, underground.
Before you
Yeah,
set the post.
check with Roger before you set it up, please.
Y'all weren't gonna set it before, you were just gonna display it and set it at a later date?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right.
I want to be the FFA is in general and recess.
There's any more discussion, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, passes unanimous. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Number 6. 5, let me go back. 5, discussion consideration of setting a date for public hearing on variance to allow dog grooming salon in Zone A.
Okay, we got a citizen that lives over on 9th Street that, want to put in a dog grooming salon. It will not be a kennel. The dogs will be there just to be groomed and to be gone. And according to what I understand, we have to have a hearing. We have to notify people within 200 feet of where it will be and have to put a notice in the newspaper. So I'll make a motion that we set a date for public hearing March 15th at our next council meeting. Okay. And that will give us plenty of time to get those things out, correct, Larry?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second. Seconded by Susan. Any discussion?
Well, I looked at the map, we have a map of all the residences. Most of the lots over there are 50 feet. I went out a little further, so we may be sending some letters it doesn't really apply to, but I'd rather err in favor of covering more than we need.
Yes?
We're on 9th Street, because I know I live on Avenue G and 9th.
It's between K and L, I think, is where it'll be, on the far end down there.
Hi, Teresa.
Well, I'm not exactly sure where they're gonna put their kennel itself. You have a map of where they're putting it?
They're moving, you know, where their house is, it's gonna be more toward the bio. And
It's
it's
out there in the pond.
right.
Okay, if you go down 9th Street toward the curve on Avenue L, the very last house on the right, it kind of sits up on a hill, and then there's a big pasture that goes all the way to the bio. It would be going that way to the right side. You know where I live?
Yes.
Right down at the end of my road.
I mean, but I won't have a choice whether, because I'm gonna have it.
Well, you can speak.
Well, this is, all we're doing is just opening up for the discussion.
The
For the
hearing.
public hearing.
The hearing is when you come discuss.
So it'll be like next month.
We're just setting a hearing.
Mayor, on the schedule,
Yes.
the public hearing will work out fine for March 15th, but the council can't pass, if it's approved, you can't pass that ordinance until 31 days after the notice is mailed out.
Right.
Okay.
And March 15th is 28 days from tonight, so that's all we can do then is the public hearing.
I figure we'd approve it April meeting.
Okay.
That works. I don't think they're in any great rush to get it done, they just wanna get it done.
Okay. All righty. Any more discussion? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Passes unanimous. Okay. Number 6, discussion consideration granting variance to ordinance number 16-03 to St. Anthony's Catholic Church for their annual church bazaar Friday, May the 4th, 2018 through Monday, May 7th, 2018 for the following. A, to allow the sale, auction of alcohol on the day of the bazaar, May 6th, 2018. St. Anthony's will possess a state of Texas permits. B, use of motorized vehicles in the park to set up and tear down equipment as well as for the continued maintenance and emptying of trash containers. C, to be in the park after hours for the weekend of the bazaar. And D, to allow beverages to be in glass containers to be located inside the beer booth only, and contents will be transferred to non-glass containers before serving to customers. Also, alcohol purchases in the auction will often be in glass containers but will be held at the auction booth until the item is being removed from the premises. The Catholic Church is aware that they will need security for this event and will discuss it with Chief Dyson.
I'll make a motion, we grant a variance to ordinance number 16-03 to St. Anthony's Catholic Church for their annual church bazaar on Friday, May 4th, 2018 through Monday, May 7th, with those conditions as listed.
Okay, do I have a second, Cody? Any discussion?
It's a great event every year.
Right.
Never had any problems there that I'm aware of, and they police it very well.
Yeah, it's well maintained. Okay, if there's no more discussion, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, passes unanimous. Okay, number 7. Larry, I believe somebody has mentioned to me that this is not worded right. This executive session, number 7.
I don't have a copy in front of me.
I'm sorry. Did you let him look at that? You got it fine?
That's fine.
Okay. All right, number 7, executive session under Texas Government Code, section 551.071 to consult with attorney on recovery of city funds. We're going into executive session at 7:18. Okay. Thank y'all. Y'all can come stay here and Okay, it's 7:37, and we're back in open session. One thing came to my attention before we went into executive session was on this meeting with Mr. Cade, I didn't set that up. Mr. King called me and asked me to be there. So I just wanted to clarify that, so everybody would know, yes.
For the record, both of us as city employees did not even know about the meeting until
Right,
after it had
right.
happened.
I was told like an hour before they were meeting over there.
We couldn't have set out CTI.
We
know it
didn't
was
set that
happening.
meeting up, Teresa.
Okay, all right, Mayor, and I accept that, and they know my opinion now in Brian Kay's office.
I'm sure.
And I wasn't ugly.
Okay. You say so, Teresa.
I was not ugly.
All right. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because I think I was told that maybe some people thought that I had arranged that meeting and didn't tell anybody. But if I was going to have a meeting over there, I would have put it over the internet or over our system
Okay,
so
can I
that
say
people
something?
know that we are working.
Can I say
Yes,
something about social media and the internet?
go ahead.
Social media and the internet is fine for people that have access to it. I work a job where I have to leave my phone in my purse and turn it off during the day. Or my ringer off. I'm not allowed to be fool with my phone. I get off late in the day sometimes. So social media is not an option as far as me receiving notifications. With the CTY though, even if I can't answer my phone, I get a text. So when I get off work and I check it, then I know what's going on. You know, if I receive a CTY, like I did with y'all got a website, which I haven't even looked at. But so not everyone has social media, and not everyone. I don't do social media on my phone. I can, but I don't. And I'm not set up with Facebook. So.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, take a motion.
I want to make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay. I have a motion to adjourn. Got a second by George. Any discussion? If not, I'll take a vote. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Passes unanimous. Okay, thank you. It is 7:40, and we are adjourned. Thank you all for showing up.
That was their executive session.
You have to vote outside of executive session.
Right, these are talking about
It doesn't matter, you have to vote outside of executive session.